You have a budget for everything. Savings are in one account, investments in another, spending money is neatly allocated. You are the very picture of financial responsibility. So why do you have this nagging feeling that you're just shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic? Why does your net worth barely move, despite your meticulous organization? This isn't a failure of discipline. In fact, your discipline is part of the problem. You are caught in a sophisticated trap called the container illusion. It's a cognitive glitch that convinces you that money in different containers has a different value. Your brain is lying to you about the very nature of your money, and this lie is costing you a fortune. The fundamental law of finance is that money is fungible. A dollar is a dollar is a dollar. It doesn't matter if you earned it, found it, or saved it. It has the same mathematical power. But your brain refuses to accept this. It creates invisible mental walls between your accounts, turning your unified financial power into a disconnected mess. Think of it this way. You have $10,000 in a savings account earning 1% interest. You also have $5,000 of credit card debt at 20% interest. Mathematically, you are losing 19% on $5,000 every year. But you refuse to touch the savings because it feels like a violation. That feeling is the illusion. Your sense of order is creating financial chaos. This isn't an accident. It's a deep-seated feature of human psychology that advertisers and financial institutions exploit every single day. To break free, you first need to understand the 3 secret mental buckets your brain uses to sort every dollar you own, and how each bucket has its own dangerous, unwritten rules. The first and most dangerous mental bucket is for what psychologists call windfall money. This is any money you didn't directly trade your time and effort for. A bonus, a small inheritance, a tax refund, or even a $20 bill you found. Your brain doesn't see this as real money. It sees it as play money. The unwritten rule for the windfall bucket is spend it quickly and frivolously. Because you didn't earn it in the traditional sense, spending it doesn't trigger the same psychological pain as spending your salary. This is why a $500 bonus often vanishes on a single nice dinner, while you agonize over a $50 grocery bill. The second mental bucket is for earned income. This is your salary, the money you trade your life force for. This bucket is treated with much more respect. Your brain categorizes this as serious money. The rule here is to be responsible, but it also creates a dangerous link between your spending and your identity. The third bucket is the most sacred, the savings and emergency bucket. Money placed here undergoes a psychological transformation. It stops being a tool and becomes a symbol of security. The unwritten rule is, do not touch this money unless the world is ending. This rule feels responsible, but it can be incredibly destructive. So you have 3 versions of money in your head: play money, serious money, and sacred money. A dollar is no longer a dollar. Its identity is defined by the bucket you mentally place it in. This irrational sorting system is the source of countless poor financial decisions, creating invisible leaks in your financial foundation. Now that you see the flawed system your brain is running, let's look at the real-world consequences. We're going to deconstruct how this 3-bucket system makes you use credit cards irrationally, paralyzes your investment decisions, and ultimately ensures that even when you have money, you still feel broke. Let's start with the credit card blind spot. When you decide to buy a non-essential item, your brain checks the windfall or fun money bucket. If it's empty, the rational answer is to not buy it. But the credit card acts as a back door, a loan against a future, imaginary windfall. It feels painless because, no, serious, money was touched. This creates a bizarre paradox. You will happily put a $2,000 vacation on a credit card at 22% interest, while simultaneously celebrating that you added $200 to your high-yield savings account that earns 5%. The container illusion prevents you from seeing this as a 17% net loss. You feel like you're winning on 2 fronts. Next, it paralyzes your investments. Your savings bucket is for safety. Your investment bucket is for risk. You treat them as separate worlds. So you might take huge, speculative risks with a small amount of money in your investment account, while the vast majority of your wealth sits in a savings account being eroded by inflation. You are simultaneously a gambler and a coward. The emergency fund paradox is another costly consequence. Your car breaks down. The repair is $1,000. This is the definition of an unexpected, necessary expense, an emergency. But you've labeled your emergency fund as sacred. So instead of using it, you put the repair on a credit card, creating high-interest debt to protect money that exists for this exact purpose. The cumulative effect of these microdecisions is catastrophic. The container illusion creates dozens of small inefficiencies, tiny leaks of value. Each one seems insignificant, but over decades they add up to a fortune in lost growth and unnecessary interest payments. Your organized system is systematically making you poorer. But there is a way to fix it. The solution is not to get rid of your accounts. The solution is a radical mental shift. It requires you to destroy the mental buckets and see your money for what it is, a single, unified pool of capital. We need to replace the container illusion with a new mental model that aligns with financial reality. The new model is the unified balance sheet. Instead of seeing separate buckets, you see one number, your net worth. This is the only number that truly matters. Every financial decision should be judged by a single criterion. Does this increase or decrease my net worth in the long run? This question cuts through all the emotional labels. With this model, paying off a 20% credit card with your 5% savings is no longer a painful withdrawal from a sacred account. It is a guaranteed 20% tax-free return on your investment. It is the single best financial move you can make. The math becomes simple when you remove the emotional containers. Physical accounts are still useful tools for organization, but they are just labels, not different types of money. Your vacation fund and your investment fund are both just claims on your single pool of capital. You can move money between them without any psychological friction because you know it's all the same money, working for the same team, you. This mindset also clarifies your risk tolerance. You stop being a gambler with one small account and a coward with another. You look at your total capital and decide on an overall strategy. Maybe you decide you want 80% of your total capital in safe assets and 20% in growth assets. This unified strategy is far more powerful and rational. Adopting the unified balance sheet model is like turning on the lights in a dark room. All the strange shapes and scary monsters you imagined were just furniture. You stop making decisions based on which account the money is in and start making decisions based on pure mathematics and your long-term goals. You regain control. You have just replaced a flawed, emotional operating system with a clean, logical one. You have overcome the container illusion. But this victory reveals a deeper, more subtle problem. Now that your system is efficient, you have to confront the psychology of your own effort and the hidden trap of falling in love with the struggle itself. Let's recap what we've uncovered. You saw how your brain's natural tendency to organize money into separate mental buckets, the container illusion, creates a distorted reality. It makes you treat some dollars as disposable and others as sacred, leading to a series of irrational decisions that drain your wealth over time. The tool to combat this is the unified balance sheet mindset. By seeing all your money as a single pool of capital and judging every decision by its impact on your total net worth, you escape the emotional traps. You replace a dozen confusing rules with one simple, powerful principle, restoring logic to your financial life. This is a massive step towards financial clarity. You've moved beyond simple budgeting and are now operating on a higher strategic level. You've fixed the system, but this new, efficient system will only work if the person running it understands their own motivations, especially the paradoxical attachment we have to hard work. This leads to a critical question. You are a hard worker. You value effort. But what if that very value system is tricking you into pursuing difficult paths just for the sake of the struggle? What if you are unconsciously choosing strategies that require more work but deliver worse results simply because the effort feels more virtuous? This tendency to overvalue things we've struggled for is a powerful psychological bias known as effort justification. It explains why we hold on to failing projects and refuse to take simple solutions. The next video on screen is the logical continuation of our journey. It deconstructs this exact force, showing you how to finally make your effort count. You have optimized your financial system. Now it's time to optimize your effort. To understand the psychological force that makes you fall in love with wasted work and how to redirect your energy towards what truly matters, click the video you see on your screen right now. It's the key to translating your hard work into actual results.